Hello, I'm Elaine Ruska. I'm here at Mary Martin Gallery at the Belmont Charleston Place Hotel, and we are known for having a wide variety of artists from all over the world with different styles and different techniques. We meet a lot of artists, and we hear an awful lot about how all of our artists have a passion for their art. They love their art. But one artist says, "Art is my life. Art saved my life." A compelling and interesting story is what you're about to hear. We are here with Pakan Penn, originally from Cambodia, a 12-year-old whose artistic journey to today is interesting, emotional, and quite motivating. Pakan, welcome to our gallery.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how, as a 12-year-old, you initially started to paint. Did you always want to paint? And was there an artist, or what inspired you to paint?
Well, as I remember, I started sketching and drawing since as early as 7 or 8 years old. I always did well in the art class. That's far back I remember, but the time about 12, then I started painting. And I did quite a bit of painting, and I got the idea to start selling them at the sort of like a gift shop gallery in the center of the city, Pakan Penn. That's way back in the 60s, I remember. So, sort of like a long journey until today. But as I remember, that's how I started.
And I understand that an American came in and purchased one of your paintings. Do you
Yes.
remember what painting he purchased?
Probably Cambodia landscape. When I started, I did a lot of landscape. I just love the landscape in Cambodia, all that beautiful palm tree and especially the sunset. I just, until today, still like to paint those kind of images. One day, an American that worked in Cambodia happened to bought one of my painting, and he sort of like fell in love so much with the painting, and he asked the people that worked there, and they told him that this painting done by a 12-year-old boy. So get him really excited, and he asked if they can help him to find out where I live and stuff. Took him a while to find out where I live, and he sort of tried to make friends with my family and try to talk to my father to try to get me out to come to United States. Yeah, he said he would help to do that.
Well, I'm certainly glad, and there's a lot of collectors here, not only here in America, but around the world, that we're glad he convinced your parents
Yes.
to go along with
Right.
that. And you ended up in D.C. at the prestigious Art Academy.
Right.
Tell us more about that experience.
It's quite an experience. When I got here in '73, they told me about Corcoran School of Art right behind the White House. And I have no idea about how great is that school, and it's very expensive. One day I just walked there to their office with my portfolio and showed them some of my drawing and a couple of paintings I remember. And to my surprise, they really love it, and they want to enroll me in the school right away. And it's a 4-year program, but they put me in the second year program. And with full scholarship. To my surprise, I didn't have to pay anything. So I got very fortunate to work with Professor Gene Davis. He's a very famous artist. One of his paintings in the National Gallery Museum in Washington, D.C.
So did you start with a formal art education, traditional art education, as far as basic drawing, or they advanced you to the second year of the four-year program?
Yeah.
Did you immediately go into painting, or were there other mediums that you were experimenting with, and possibly sculpture, or was it specifically painting?
Specifically painting and drawing. Sort of, honestly, I didn't learn anything from the school. Yeah. I sort of like, I shouldn't say boring, but I have to go because in my mind, I always want to go back home, sort of get a diploma and planning to go back home. I remember Gene Davis always stood behind me when in the painting class. He always kept saying, "You are a professional, you don't need to be here." I sort of like, I told him I need to stay in school and finish it and get a diploma and go back home. He sort of smiled. He said, "Well, I can get you to go to New York instead of here. I can help you get a Rockefeller scholarship." Oh, he tried to help me tremendously to push me way ahead. But I did not go, and I just finished the program and hang around in D.C. Yeah.
And then you, I understand, tried to return to Cambodia, but unfortunately had a...
I could not go.
You could not go back
right,
to...
unfortunately, because the war I finished in 75, so right at that time the war in Vietnam just finished. The communists took over in Vietnam and Cambodia, and I lost completely contact from all my family, my parents, and so sort of myself and including most of Cambodia that live in the USA, sort of in the limbo. They don't recognize our passport or nothing because we don't have a country. So that was a bad time for me, sort of like got stuck.
Yes, it's and there you are, a young adult.
Exactly, yeah.
In a foreign country.
Right, by myself.
By yourself.
No family.
No family. What a courageous thing that you had to challenge, and you faced that with courage.
Yeah, it was a really hard time, and just try to hang on, and I did quite a bit of painting and sell a few in the gallery in Georgetown and in some part of Arlington County. But one day it dawned to me that I couldn't make a living of doing that, so I decided to do something else. Yeah.
So, and I understand that hiatus was 20 years.
20 years, yeah. Left the art world completely.
Completely.
Yes. And just start a new life. Since my background is in the architectural field, and I love designing and drawing, so I decided to went back to school again, learn to become a general contractor and learn how to build a house. And since, like I said, I love designing, so I picked up that profession really fast and start my own business after a couple of years and stay in that business for 20 years.
Wow.
Right.
And then I imagine that your friends and family encouraged you to start painting
yes.
again.
I retired from construction in 2000. Just decided it's about time to quit. And a lot of people that used to know me as an artist, they keep bugging me just about every time they see me that you should go back to your art world, and you are a great artist. You should go back. And so I decided to go back and start painting after 20 years. Yeah, I never touched my brush. Or, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience when you started back. Do you remember, was it a sense of joy and
Oh, yeah,
exhilaration?
yeah.
Do you remember, is it a moment
A sense of joy and be free to do what I like, but I was kind of skeptical that I could do it again, because I left art for 20 years, you know. I just did not paint at all, but when I picked up the brush again, to my surprise, I did better than before. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So did you change your style? Did it change from the time you initially started back in
Yes.
Cambodia
Yeah.
to when you started again? Tell us what
So-
the change was.
So that time was like my third stage of my art life,
Oh,
because from when I was in Cambodia, I sort of paint different. When I got to Corcoran, I paint different. So when I start again in 2000, 2001, is completely different. But look back, most of all my work become sort of brighter and brighter, more colorful. I guess probably from what I feel inside, because the situation I was in Cambodia and the turmoil or the hard feeling that I had. I lost my family, everything. When I was at Corcoran, I paint so dark, really complete different. So when I get to start again, my situation getting better, I paint, lighter, brighter, until today, getting brighter and brighter and more colorful, as you see.
and you love to paint flowers.
I always love to paint
And
flowers.
animals.
Yeah, I wish you could see my flower 20 years ago. I don't know where they are. I sold solar painting to many people. Yeah, I love to see it myself. I always paint wildflower. I always love to paint wildflower.
So I recall you once saying that you loved painting with a palette knife, and
Yes.
that in Cambodia there were no palette knives. You actually took that came from a bamboo and carved out a palette knife.
Yes.
So my question is, how did you even know about a palette knife? Did you just devise that in your mind, that you wanted to create texture, and in order to do that you would create something to be able to apply your paint?
Exactly. I never knew what is a palette knife is. Probably didn't even know the word. Those days, the material that I had was so bad. My paint, my brush, everything I got is so precious, because it's hard to find paint, brush, everything in Cambodia those days. Everything had to be obtained to get it from overseas. Somebody get to me, or some of my French professor that knew me that I paint, they got it from me from France, from somewhere. So everything I got is so precious. But talking about palette knife, I always love to paint very thick. Yeah.
Yes, and sculptural maybe.
Right, because I discovered that if I do it thicker, it seemed like it looked more vivid, more realistic, more. It's just better than the brush. So the bamboo palette knife is I got create by myself. It's just to find something to be able to get the thick paint on the canvas. I couldn't do with the brush, so they got the idea to get the
It's
bamboo.
a wonderful
Yeah,
story. And you now have these very exciting paintings with not just the sculptural aspect to them, but your color. It seems to me that you have just an innate, intuitive color theory. You're a master of color theory
thank you.
in how you place the different colors.
It's sort of come very natural. Yeah, I sort of know if I put one color next to another color, if it doesn't look right, I sort of know it right away. And I found that people kept asking me about this question, and I replied that why it's so difficult, but to me it's sort of like you have that sense to feel that, you know. I didn't realize that it's difficult to somebody else, but it's especially paint with palette knives, you know.
Yes,
It gives you the joys and the sense of completely free from the brush feeling. It's hard to explain unless people experience themselves.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Right.
People tend to just put a little, as if they're buttering their bread or something.
Right.
It is
Take years of practice.
Years
of practice. But if you can do it, it just becomes completely different feeling than the brush.
So tell us about some of the paintings that are right here.
Some of this is,
of course, this your friend.
My friend Tiger here.
Does he have a name, or did you give him a name while you were painting him?
No, I don't know what his name. I bet he got a name in Cambodia. This is the tiger that I got to see in the zoo, in one of the zoo in Cambodia. I got to be very close to him, and you see it's so colorful because he sort of like walk around with this field of flower, and it's just a wonderful shot that I got. And when I get back home, I just start painting him right away. You see all this color on the side of his face. It's not. It looked like it's a little bit exaggerating, but when I saw him, the sun hit him on the left-hand side, so create all this illusion of so many. The tiger is colorful itself, right?
Yes, that's right.
So,
what you,
right, and
that's one of the. I think that as an artist, I see your paintings, and I can see the expression and the emotion that you're able to convey and communicate.
You have to feel it.
You have to feel it,
right,
and
right. You have to paint from here. If you
Yes.
don't paint from here, the paint is no good.
That's right.
Right.
And you certainly are able to do that. And your horse paintings
Yes.
are
Unfortunately, I didn't have one here. Yeah.
Are very popular with your collectors.
Right.
You just can hear the charging of the horses in the race, and just
People
feel
always say that. Yeah.
how did that happen that you ended up?
That happened because of palette knife, honestly.
But as far as that particular subject matter, because your flowers, but to an animal, wildlife, but did you attend some horse races?
Yes.
And then you felt you had to capture that?
I fell in love with the horse race because it's so colorful, right? And the action. You see, most of my painting, if you look at, you have a feel. Even I paint flower, you have a feel that the flower moving or the wind blowing. So when I saw the horse race the first time, I said, "Oh my God, this is a good subject for me for the painting." And I started painting probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it's quite popular right now. People love my horse race painting.
So another subject matter that you painted a painting of Chicago.
Yes.
And you presented that to a very special person.
It's the President Obama, right?
President Obama.
Right.
And tell us about that experience.
I got to be friend with one of Obama's assistant when Obama was at the senator. So he always loved my work, and he wanted to introduce me to Obama. So he said, since Obama came from Chicago, why don't you paint something from Chicago? So I paint the view of Chicago City from the lakeside, and it's not a big painting. It's small, like I don't remember the size, but took me a while to get the painting to him, and they love it, and I get to show to Obama at the White House, and they all like it, and so that painting was hanging at the White House for the whole 8 years when he was
For
there.
the whole 8 years.
Right.
And I understand your paintings also hang in many of the consulates and
Yes.
some of the government buildings in Washington as well.
I joined the art embassy program, created by the State Department. Yes.
For that.
So you sort of like loan the painting to the government. They hang at the American Embassy overseas. Right, in different countries. And yeah, it's really a nice program.
So we discussed your flowers, your animals, portrait paintings. Okay, your last painting, what would that be?
My last painting probably would be a horse race again.
A horse race?
Yes, I'm stuck with that and I just love it. But it takes so long to create horse race painting.
Well, we are sure and we are hope that we see many, many paintings.
Yes.
Whether they be horse paintings, horse races, wildlife, flowers. We wish you lots of luck for your continued artistic journey.
Thank you.
And we do have one of Pakan's paintings here of the horses, since he truly loves here, one of our consultants. I'm going to hold this like this, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about the moment you saw this.
Yes, this is a horse race at Middleburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Middleburg, Virginia, did I say it? Yeah. In the evening, the sun comes right behind the horse race. You can see the sort of yellow shadow from behind it. And I captured these three guys here. They're way ahead of the crowd, and sort of their last turn of the race. And they really push really hard. And as you see, it's so colorful. It's fun to do it.
And do you position yourself at a certain angle? Because
Yes.
your perspective here is that you're not up in the
No.
stands, in the crowd. You're
right on the ground.
You're right on the ground.
Right, I'm probably 50 feet from them.
Oh.
And a little bit on the angles. Almost when they turn it, they almost head straight toward me. It's a good moment and to capture this time. And unfortunately, I love to put a scene like that in a bigger painting, but I didn't have enough time, so this is a small painting, 18 by 24. But it's enough just to capture these three guys.
Well, it's impactful, as all of your paintings
Thank you.
are. And we encourage all of you to come over to Broad and King Street here in Charleston, or at the Belmont Charleston Place Hotel, where you'll be able to see more of Pakan Penn's impactful, beautiful sculpture paintings.